Hey guys, Amy here with ProFiles BackStage and your monthly swag. So swag is on its way to you and I'm excited to share a new product. So we got such a great response from the Babe gel polish line. We have created the Babe sculpture gels. Same 12 free formula, so it's a safer, better option and it is amazing. So to start with, you've received a 15 ml of either the pink ice or the pink fire. And the best way to get these liners off really is to kind of cut it halfway off and then just pull it with some tweezers and rip it the rest of the way. But they're necessary. We can't have leakers. I have enough leakers in my life. So this one is the fire. So it's got a nice neutral pink base that is pretty covering and it's got a gold shimmer to it. Then we've got the ice, which has more of a silver shimmer to it. So you've received one of those, and then the Babe bonding gel. So this base gel works for your gel polish system along with the hard gel system. So also is your color protector. So this is new and this will keep anything from discoloring. So perfect over pink and whites or any light color. Couple heart-shaped buffers, too cute. And then you guys, I really hooked you up on the brushes. So we've got 4 brushes in the Babe kit, and starting with the oval, and this oval is a little bit longer than a traditional gel brush, so it helps with the floating of the product. So I use that one probably the most. And then we've got a short square if you're a person that likes to work with a square brush. Then we've got our scrub brush, which is great for putting on our base coat because we want to scrub it in the nail plate. And last, that edge brush makes for a great cleanup brush. So for application, we're going to start with our cuticle pusher, and I'm just slightly pushing the cuticle back and kind of lifting it up. I am not using too much pressure here. There is no Russian manicure going on here. I am just trying to scrape that cuticle off the nail plate. And then we're going in with our poppy bit. This is one of our cuticle bits. This is my favorite bit. And I'm going to start this at a low speed of about 12 RPM. And I'm going to start in the center of the nail. And then I'm just going to pull outside and pull down. I am going to do that on all of the fingers. If I was doing 10, I would do all 10 in this direction. Again, starting in the center and pulling down the sides. Next, I'm going to put my e-file in reverse and I'm going to do the exact opposite, start in the center, and we're going to pull all the way to the right. And I would do that through all 10 as well. So we'll get that done and get all that nasty cuticle off. And then we're going in with our medium sander and I am just etching that nail plate. Carly, my beautiful model here, definitely doesn't have the best natural nails. She's had product on them for a long time, so we had just removed that to apply these gels. So I'm just being really delicate because I know she's got kind of a thin nail bed right now. So I am definitely not using a lot of pressure and I'm still at about 12 RPM. So we're going to finish this up. I'm going to speed up through the other fingers, but basically we're just removing the shine and removing any pterygium that is on the nail plate. So after we're done filing and prepping, we are removing all that dust and I'm going in with that bonding base. I'm using just a little bit of product and then I'm grabbing that scrub brush. So this is going to really scrub that product into the natural nail plate and doesn't really let you over apply the base because sometimes too much base, you could have lifting issues. So we want to scrub that right in and give it a 30-second cure. Next, we're going to go in with our forms and I'm going to place this right on. And traditionally, I would put this on, having a little trouble here. Okay, got it. And I would do my pinching. The thing with gels, especially sculpting with gels, you have got to make sure you have a perfect form fit. There's no floating and magic balling with gels. So the problem here is even though I got it up nice and tight, I've got a little bit of obstruction here down the sidewall. And what's going to happen is I'm going to have a very weak spot because that form is in the way and it's kind of blocking a nice clean sidewall. So you'd end up with that little V in the sidewall and then they're just going to end up chipping off like at the free edge. So what I'm going to do is put that form on. I'm going to use my thumbnails to kind of mark where the edges of her nail are. Then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut diagonally right where my marks were on the form. And I'm gonna go about halfway. Do that same thing to the other side. And this way it allows us to free up those side channels so that they're not in the way of application. So again, you really want to go in, kind of over pinch that form, really kind of roll it, and then place it right at the natural nail. Stick those sides down. We're still going to pinch that free edge. And now right where we cut the form, we're going to kind of pull those tabs away. And now you can see we're going to have a better C curve and we're not going to have any niches in our sidewall. Perfect. Perfection. I love it. So now we're going to go in with our application. My sweet model chose the ice color instead of the fire. We're going to go in with a large pearl of product and we're going to place it right at that free edge where the form and the free edge of the natural nail meet. First thing I'm going to do is kind of swirl to get it off of my brush, and then I'm going to stay attached to the product and just move it around and kind of pull it up my sidewalls. Do that on both sides, planning out my shape here, which will be a square because that's what my model wants. And we're just going to fill in that whole free edge, that whole tip area. Again, staying attached to the product and kind of just stringing it where I need it to go. And you'll notice the product is pretty stiff when you take it out of the jar, but once you start working with it and once the skin and the heat from the hand starts to take over, it definitely starts melting a little bit and it makes it very easy to work with, but not too runny, so it does not flood or run down the form on you. You can see how long it's taking me to do this, and it is not moving. It's staying put, however, it's self-leveling perfectly. So I went ahead and cured that. We are taking this out of the lamp. I always like to remove the form after the free edge has cured, just to make sure that my shape is on, my length, and I've got a decent C curve and no issues. So we're good here. And now I'm going to go in with the body application. So I'm going to take another pearl of the product, and you can see again it's pretty stiff right now. I'm going to work it off my brush, and I'm going to get behind the product and just start pillowing towards the cuticle area. Just ever so lightly, just kind of pressing it back there, letting it grab. And now you can see the heat of the hand is starting to warm up the product a little bit. It's moving and flowing really well. I'm just stringing it down and eventually just brushing it over the free edge that we created. I'm going to let this self-level for a second, and then we're going to put this back in the lamp. So before I speed up the rest of the fingers application, I am going to go over this free edge application one more time because I feel like I wasn't videoing the full technique on that pinky. I think my camera was turned off, so we're going to do this again. So we've got our form on. We have customized our form a little bit, cutting those tabs, pulling them away from the sidewall, and we're going to go in with another dollop of product and we're going to sculpt that free edge out again. Again, just making sure I have that perfect form fit. And we place this on right at that free edge, and we immediately just start working it, pulling down our length, and then obviously pulling up the sidewalls to make sure that this is attached really well at the free edge of the nail, because when we're taking that form off, we don't want this tip that we've created to come off with it, because I've done that before and it is a wicked pisser. So we're going to make sure that's well attached. And I'm going to finish this one up, and then we're going to form and apply all those free edges to the other 4 nails. Obviously following all the same steps with the forms, and I like to do this in all 10, and if not all 10, I'll do one hand and then I'll do the other hand, because leaving sticky gel on your client for too long is not always the best idea, but doing at least all 5, one hand at a time, doing all these steps, it almost makes me more consistent. So I'm going to start with this tip area, and then we're going to go back in and fill in the body of the nails. Okay, she is out of the light, and we are going to remove all of the forms. I'm just using my cuticle pusher and just separating the form from the gel and pulling these off. These should come off very easily. We are going to wipe these and get that tacky layer off, because I do like to file the sidewalls and make sure that I've got enough product in the sidewalls. And again, just to make sure that my body application is going to be nice and smooth. So this is the part that I missed on that pinky, so I just wanted to make sure I went over this. And I'm just going up each sidewall and just cleaning up my shape a little bit. Sometimes if something isn't perfect with my application of the free edge, I tend to over apply. So this keeps me from doing that. We're going to give them a quick wipe down. Again, I'm just using 70% alcohol wipes to get rid of the dust that I just created. So now we're going in for the body of the nail. And again, I'm going to pick up a dollop of the Babe Gel, and I'm going to place it right in the center. And again, just kind of wipe it off the tip of the brush, get behind that product, and immediately start pillowing back towards the cuticle and down your sidewalls. Again, staying attached to the product, don't pull completely away. And then kind of tapering it off over the free edge. Because these are a little bit longer, they are going to require one more dollop of application, but I don't want to do it, I didn't want to put too much product on because I knew her natural nails were pretty thin. So we're just going to go back over and build that apex very last. So right now we're just smoothing, and you can see how well this self-levels because of the heat of her hand. We're just giving it a couple seconds. I'm going to wipe away any product if I feel like I got a little too close to the cuticle area. I am using that edge brush for that. And then when I'm happy with this application, we're just going to go right in and cure. I get the question a lot. I'm going to speed up the rest of the application on the other fingers, but while we're doing that, I get the question a lot about lamps having a low heat mode to help from any heat happening when the product is activating and curing. So I do not have a low heat mode on my lamp. What I do is either have her cure a little further away. I'll take that bottom plate out of the lamp and have her cure down a little bit lower so she's further away from the heat source. Or I will have my clients pretty well trained, and I'll have them go in for 10 seconds, come out for 10 seconds, in for 10, out for 10. And I'll do that a few times, and this will slow down the curing process, and she will have no heat. So those are all cured, and we're going in with that last dollop of application. I am putting a slip layer on, a map layer, I like to call it, just to help it self-level, because whatever I can do to have the least amount of finish filing is kind of my goal here. So I'm going in with a dollop of application over that wet, thin layer that I just put on. I am keeping it mostly in the center of the nail so that I can build up that stress area and apex. I didn't need a lot of product towards the free edge, so again, I kind of tapered it down. And I'm just stringing, and sometimes I will grab usually like a number 9 or a number 12 art liner brush. This helps me kind of move the gel without picking up too much and moving it to a different area of the nail. This just helps it self-level perfectly. Okay, we're going to speed up and do the rest of the hand, following the same methods that we did previously, putting that wet layer down first, really thin, then putting that dollop in the center and floating it where we need it. If you hear little snores in the background, my little pups is sleeping right now, so they're cute puppy snores. It's okay. So once this is good, we are curing for 30 seconds is fine for the entire babe line. If you don't have a newer lamp and you're a little nervous, you can always cure for 60. Don't worry about over curing. When it comes out of the light, we are wiping, and we're just gonna put our brush away to keep it nice and clean. Beautiful. And now we're gonna go into our finished filing. I am using the Primo files when I do my sidewalls like this because they're so thin. I love that it won't create any notches in the sides. Sometimes if you go in with a thicker file, it's very easy with gel because it files so soft. It's easy to create that niche. So, or nick, I should say, niche, same thing, right? So I'm doing that to all 5. Then I'm going to go in for the body of the nail with that medium sander band. I am up a little bit higher, about 1800 rather than 12 when I was on the natural nail. First thing I'm going to do is just pay attention to that cuticle area. I like, especially when I'm filing with gel, to kind of look at the profile of the nail just to make sure that I'm not over filing. It's very, very easy to over file gel product. So I am just laying that bit down and kind of pulling it towards me and not using too much pressure. So once I've got my profile nice and clean, I will do that to all 5, and then we'll go back in and do some shaping with a hand file. Okay, so now we're going to go in with a 150 grit, or looks like I have 100 grit. That works too. And we're just doing our shaping now. So I am keeping an eye on the C-curve of the nail and making sure that from sidewall to sidewall it is nice and smooth, and making sure I don't have any flat spots. And next we're going to buff Babe. We're going to use our cute little heart buffers, and we're just going to run these over, kind of scrub it up around the cuticle area just to make sure that you've got a nice clean finish from cuticle to product. And we're going to do that to all 5, and then we're going to clean these up, and we're going to put our color protector top coat on. So again, the color protector is exactly what it says it is. It's going to protect the color, especially light colors. And if you have, somebody wearing pink and whites, or even a white nail altogether, this will help from any discoloration from dyes, hairdressers working with hair dye, or even fabric dyes, stuff like that. If you've got a new pair of black jeans on, that it will definitely pick up color. Normal top coat will. This color protector will not. So it is a little bit thinner than your typical top coat. So I like to go in, do 4, and then do the thumb separately, just because I don't want it to level out on the sides. We just spent all this time really making sure that these were nice and sharp and clean. I don't want the top coat to kind of bulb around the shape and ruin my nice clean square. So once we cure these and they come out of the light, we are going to put cuticle oil on, but we are going to wait about 15 to 20 seconds just to let that top coat cool down a little bit so that we don't potentially dull it. So I'll end this video with a couple images of the nails, and that way you can also see the C-curve and how thin these are, but they are still super durable. And even Carly was saying they wear really light. They feel light, they're easy to wear, and super durable. So thank you guys so much for watching. Keep an eye out. I will be posting a video on a baby boomer style with the the Babe gel, and also a pink and white. So keep your eyes open for that. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. This was definitely a longer video than normal, but I hope you picked up some really good tips and tricks. See y'all soon.